We're proud to present Seller Sessions live in London, where we'll be flying in some of the world's most advanced Amazon educators. The event will be held at the prestigious David Game Keynote Theatre. Alongside myself will be Evelyn Demirov, who is known for breaking lots of trends on Amazon, Anthony Lee, one of the early innovators of the blast ranking method and published author. We'll also be flying in show favourites Liran Hirschkorn and Paul Harvey. Over the coming weeks, we'll be announcing more speakers and content. So if you want to join in the fun with other super smart Amazon sellers and brands, then visit sellersessions.com/live and grab super early bird tickets before they go to full admission. We'd like to say a big thank you to all of our media partners, which include GS1 UK, Web Retailer, River Cleaner, Sixleaf, Orange Click and Amazing Freedom. We look forward to seeing you all in London on June 1st. Hey guys, welcome back to Seller Sessions. Today I bring back Paul Harvey. Hey Paul, how you doing?
Hey Danny, good in yourself?
Yeah, good. I just thought with all the bits and pieces we've been doing with regards to Facebook ads and techniques, etc., I thought maybe we could roll it up into some sessions whereby we can explain a walkthrough in terms of using Facebook ads for doing product launches. What do you reckon?
Sounds good.
So let's start with the first session here. Let's think about in terms of ad copy and setup. But I think we should preface this with your experience recently. You've been doing more stuff on the bot side in terms of running Facebook ads. So tell people about costs are going up. I know we see on Facebook groups that people are paying pennies on the pound for clicks, etc. But that isn't always the case exclusively for everything. So do you want to give us a little bit of background on that?
So first of all, the one thing I see the biggest issue with Facebook ads. Now, Facebook ads are pretty much in my opinion, one of the easiest platform to run ads for external traffic for Amazon. But the thing is, though, what I found is that people come to Facebook and they just get this big analysis paralysis and they don't actually run the ad. Now, what I do recommend is they just pursue this as fast as possible because ads, the costs are really increasing. Like right now, when I'm running my ads, I'm getting bot subscribers, that's subscribers to my messenger list, and right now I average about 50p a subscriber. That's for an unoptimized campaign, whereas a year ago I was paying 10p a subscriber. Yeah. And things are only getting more expensive. I say that because people need to take advantage now. It won't be as cheap as it is now forever again. The costs are only going to increase. So
but that's really like like all platforms. AdWords was the same. Amazon, that increases year on year. What was another one? Another platform was Pinterest. I didn't use and execute much on there. I'd done a little bit, but they were like cents on the dollar at one point, but they've become very expensive over time as well. So you're right. I think with the advent of the messenger bots, increased competition, therefore, higher cost per click as they get more and more popular. So let's have a little talk about ad copy. I mean, there's so many different ways to look at this whole process with ad copy, especially you've got the affiliate marketer style, you've got the no-nonsense style ad copy. There's so many different types out there. It's just trying to work out what's best for your audience. And I mean, for me, I think it's about keeping everything simplistic.
So for me, what I specialize first when I create the ad is make sure that image you are using is just sexy as hell. The image must be so good that it actually stops them in their tracks on their newsfeed. That's huge. And then alongside that, with the actual copy itself, short and sweet. People don't like to read. They really don't, and they just skim. So for example, you have some emojis with some very short text there saying buy this now, 80% off. It's some very basic copy there. I mean, I only go maximum 6 to 8 lines in my my ads, and very short, only a few words per line with nice emojis, start of every sentence, and that's good. But most importantly, that image.
Yeah, I mean, pulling up one of my old campaigns here, I've replaced the image. I've put a garlic press in there as an example. But, keeping the ads very much simple is that I've got here, they're using like money bags at the top, either side of the text, and it says $169 instead of $16.95. So we're actually spelling out the amount in the discount, not just the percentage. And then it's got claim your Amazon code. So it's telling the end user you would need an Amazon account for execution here. We're simplifying it by saying, look, add this to checkout. And then we're telling them how long it takes to make it more interesting to them, because it's only going to take less than 30 seconds to make this whole transaction work for you, when you can pay for this example here, a garlic press, and only pay £1.69 for it instead of £16.95, which is a 90% discount, right? And then the lower title on the ad is get 90% off our new garlic press. That's it. Shop now. Picture of a garlic press in there. But one of the other things I've got on the ad as well, which a guy, Dan Little, that taught me this little trick, is this is a bit of reverse psychology, because what he says is it's only available to UK residents, and it's told them max 2 per customer while stocks last. So effectively he's saying, please take 2 of these garlic presses. And the reason why we do this is because it doubles the average order size every time someone takes 2.
That max 2 per customer. I mean, Dan taught that to me. I think, what was it, about 2-3 years ago?
About 2 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 years ago. To this day, every single ad I run has max 2 per customer. It's the reverse psychology. It works so well.
Yeah. So basically what we're saying is you're spelling out the discount. You can use emojipedia.org to get all these emojis. Yeah. You're basically telling them how quick they can get the product and the discount. You using reverse psychology, and you can use some social proof here. Now, the social proof for me comes in, like, some people actually use an Amazon logo, which is not kind of social proof, it's just recognition. But I don't know if this is still applicable, but about using the Amazon logo if you're part of the Associates program. There's an actual logo that Amazon lets you use. So I don't know if that's a grey area, but in most cases you won't be able to use that.
So pretty much about that is, if you go to the Amazon Associates area, Amazon gives you 2 types or 3 types of images you can use. And as far as I could see, as long as you're advertising the Amazon product, you're allowed to use that image. And that's the only one legally allowed. And I've used that image in all of my ads for the past 2 years, never had a single ad banned.
Yeah.
But again, this is Amazon, so yeah, be careful.
But going back to the whole social proofing, which we'll get into later, once you start to gain your social proof, once the ad is running, if people like it, they're liking the ad, and they're also tagging in friends about the offer as well. And then obviously there's comments. And the more they stack up, it seems I've seen is that the conversion rate is a lot better once you get a bit more social proof popping on there.
And just about this ad, when people are doing it, really, really make sure this ad is as good as it can be, because once you build that social proof, when you run a second, third, fourth ad, you can reuse that same ad. Yeah. So then you're building the social proof over and over again. So when you see some ads that have hundreds of comments, they've just reused the same ad over and over again. It's not one ad; it's the same ad, multiple ad sets, everything.
All right. So let's talk about setting up the targeting. So one of the things, I'll give an example where, in order to go broad or go wide and then nest back in, if you're in, say, the travel or camping niche, you would use travel/camping, right? But then the key thing here is to nest that with Amazon.com. Do you want to explain to the audience what I mean here, Paul?
Yeah, pretty much is that when you're doing your targeting, you get a few fields. So the thing is that make sure the fields they're pretty much and or fields. That sounds ridiculous, but what I do is every single Amazon ad, I first make sure, does the person have an interest in Amazon.com? Yep. And then you're on the next field, so they're like Amazon.com, and I always use this, engaged shoppers. Engaged shoppers are anyone that's clicked on a Facebook ad within the last 7 days. Mm-hmm. So then you're targeting people that like Amazon and regularly click on ads on Facebook. So that those 2 things are actually gold. I always use them for every single ad I'm running. Yeah. So that's really overlapping interests to make them work well. And then the third overlap I'm running. So it's first Amazon.com, engaged shoppers. The third one will be niche specific. Mm-hmm. So if I'm doing a baby blanket, it will be then I'll be list all the kids brands. But that works really well.
Yep. Sounds good. And obviously as well is setting it up so Wi-Fi only, which we'll explain when we get to the landing pages. From there, you set your budget. So you never want your budget to be maxed out, and you don't want to do day parting, which means you're only showing your ads certain parts of the day. You want to leave that to freely run. Of course, you need to make sure that the copy and the landing page match, and so does the images. It's called an ad scent. So it gives that full consistency. Is there anything else you want to add on this part?
Just about that, something that's changed recently about the day parting is that I recommend, don't do any day parting, so run the ad continuously. But what you can do now is you can schedule the ad to run between 9 a.m. and let's say 5 p.m. You can set to run at certain hours in that user's time zone, which makes life a lot easier because that way you're not wasting money on ads running at midnight if no one's awake.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense. Total. And the obvious one, which we hear all the time, but before you think about any of this, when you are generating your single-use coupon codes, whatever percentage, the higher the percentage, generally better. I mean, there's a lot of people testing different marketplaces. People say, if they're going down as low as 70 and 65-ish now, but you have to test this stuff yourself. I just find that if you are going to do giveaways, then do you want to make your costs cheaper in terms of your advertising costs, then the greater the value of the offer, the more chance realistically you'll get the results, because you're going to be dependent on giving away enough coupon codes on a daily basis that do not only just get taken, but are actually redeemed at Amazon as well.
And it's important because people need to realize that cheap Facebook ads essentially means a big discount. The higher the discount, the cheaper the ad because it's more viral, and the lower the discount, the more expensive the ad. So when people are trying to do like 20% of offers, they're like, why are my ads so expensive? Because no one's excited about a 20% of offer.
Yeah. Makes total sense. So make sure that you edit your max order size, go into your listing and edit that and put that to 2 units if that's what you're going to put in your ad copy for the maximum of 2 per customer. And
sorry, Daniel, one thing about that, at least once a week I hear about someone not making the max order 2. And someone ordering like tens and dozens of units in one order. So please make sure everyone does this. Yeah. Because that's something which is often overlooked. It's so huge.
Makes total sense. Cool. Right. Is there anything you want to say before we go?
Pretty much is that if it's your first time doing Facebook ads, generally the first time doing it, you will fail miserably. That's not a bad thing. It really isn't. It's just, you need to understand is that first time doing Facebook ads, it can be tricky and really, really confusing. But after you do it the first few times, you'll find is that you find your flow, and you pretty much you take a normal campaign and it becomes optimized within a matter of days or weeks, and that's essentially what you want.
Sounds good. What's the best way of reaching you?
Best is my website is epsilonicommerce.com.
Sounds good. Guys, thank you for joining us. Paul, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Don't forget, we've got Seller Sessions live in London, June 1st. You'll be able to see Paul there. I'll be there. Ivan Demirov, Anthony Lee, many more. We've got more announcements and exciting stuff coming up. So check that out. Go to sellersessions.com/live. Take care.